Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rarat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology, I talk about transits. In the recent times I have made a very detailed video on the year 2026, the annual transit update, wherein I have taken a collective view of the transits of Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu and Ketu and giving you a very detailed analysis. In the recent times I have also started an exclusive channel in Hindi. The link will be there in the comment section. If you're interested, please feel free to subscribe to that channel. Today this video is about Jupiter or Devaguru Brihaspati moving in a retrograde motion and re-entering the sign of Gemini on 5th of December. And Devaguru Brihaspati will stay in this sign till June 2026, till 1st of June technically. Now till March 2026 it will continue its retrograde motion or a Vakri Sthiti in the sign of Gemini. So this video is between December through March. What is the kind of effect that we could experience? What are certain karmic blockages that Jupiter can bring? What are certain things associated to our past or the previous life? See, whenever a planet goes retrograde, there is a lot of debate, a lot of misconception whether this graha is good or bad. Some say malefics like Saturn is good, benefics like Jupiter is not good. It depends on a number of factors, the lordship of the planet, what dignity it holds in your chart. Those who have retrograde planets in their natal charts, particularly Jupiter or Saturn, they will likely have the impact during this transit. Even if you're going through the dasha antadasha of Jupiter, Rahu, because Jupiter will have a 9th aspect on Rahu, Saturn, Mercury, because Jupiter is moving through the sign of Gemini. If you're going through dasha antadasha of Venus, because Jupiter will be aspecting the sign of Libra as well. And if you're going through the dasha antadasha of Sun, Mars, because Jupiter will also be forming a yoga with Mars. They will be in a mutual aspect also with Sun. So regardless of whatever dasha antadasha you're going through, everyone is going to have the impact of Jupiter's retrograde transit between now through March. This is when the pace gets regulated. So a lot of unfinished business will move forward. It is time for wisdom, but one thing is quite prevalent. Between now through March, those who are into spiritual practices, or probably if you're connected to a spiritual guru or astrologers as well, spiritual preachers, those who talk about Vedas, Vedangas, Shastras, and of course any of these sciences, all right, a lot of reality will come into picture. And some people will get emotionally carried away. They will end up saying certain things that they might regret. A lot of people will disassociate or disconnect themselves with certain spiritual leaders, certain astrologers, and certain people who probably seem to have a lot of knowledge, but the reality will come into play here. So you should listen to everyone, because this is a time when your social media feed will be flooded with what's coming in the year. What is the tarot saying? What is the numbers saying? What is the Western system, tropical, Vedic? The other day someone shared with me, one of my clients shared with me, this is an instant I'd like to share with you, that what if we use the tropical calculation in Vedic astrology? Someone is using the tropical calculation and using the Vedic system. Okay, I call this a total blatant corruption of the ancient system. So I do respect Western astrology, I do respect Western astrologers. Of course, I respect Vedic astrology, I respect numerology, I respect tarot, I respect all the systems. But what happens is when people end up mixing things up, they will end up corrupting it. I follow Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra. I follow the age-old ancient system, and I tend not to mix other calculations, other systems with my Vedic tradition, with the regards to the houses, planets, nakshatras, and of course the various dashas. I'm pretty much disciplined with it. And this is a fact that over the course, number of writers who have written different books have ended up playing with this ancient system. So please listen to someone, but try to find logic, try to find the reasoning. Do not get carried away with blatant statements. Do not get influenced negatively with unclear statements. This is going to be on the rise over the course of next few months, wherein you will listen a lot to people. You will hear statements like, do not travel, this month is very detrimental, there will be natural calamities, but people will fail to share the reasoning behind it. As long as you are not clear in terms of why this should happen, you should not believe and get carried away or get influenced with such statements, and try to protect your wisdom, your knowledge, and your sense of maturity, because that will help you build a better judgment. When Jupiter goes retrograde, we have to protect all the signification of Jupiter regardless what lordship it holds in your chart. And this is your time to protect your knowledge, learning, wisdom, your wealth, your family, your fortune, and your gains, because these are the things that Jupiter represents. He is the natural significator of wealth, of knowledge, wisdom, our fortune, and of course our gains. During the next few months, Jupiter is keeping Rahu at check, so this is good news for us. Those having certain troubled times because of Rahu, or of course its negative influence, would see a sense of positivity, because Rahu is moving in a very strong transit in Shatabisha Nakshatra, and Jupiter will have a 9th aspect. How you need to implement your knowledge and what areas you need to implement your knowledge. Rahu will also have an aspect on Jupiter. That's a mutual aspect, all right, but Jupiter's aspect is stronger. Now this retrograde transit, how does that work? When a planet goes Vakri, based on Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra, the science behind it is that it appears to be moving backwards. So it appears to be moving backwards, it is re-entering Gemini, it will remain in the last degrees of Gemini, all right. So that is going to be the trend. It will not have so much focus on Taurus sign, because it will be, post 20 degrees any which way during the retrograde transit. However, its 7th aspect becomes very strong. Though Jupiter has average desire, 7th aspect is the aspect of desire, but when it goes Vakri, it has high Cheshtabal. High Cheshtabal means it has high desires, which means it will start acting as if it's Jupiter sitting in the sign of Sagittarius, and wherever the sign falls in your chart, Jupiter will have a very strong aspect on this sign. It will continue to have the 5th aspect on Libra, 9th aspect on Aquarius, activating the air trine in your chart wherever it falls. At the natural level, this is the trine of karma, desires. However, wherever the sign of Sagittarius falls in your chart, you could expect life events with regards to matters of this sign, because this will be jointly aspected by Saturn. So of course, I'm going to make another video on the double transit phenomena, but the sign of Sagittarius is of course going to be under good attention. Now let's try and understand what Jupiter is bringing for us in its retrograde motion in Gemini. From a physical results point of view, you must read this transit from your ascendant, from your lagna, because yogas we primarily see from the lagna. If you want to read it at the mental level, you can also read this from your Chandra Rashi or the moon sign. I use the sidereal method, Chitra Paksha Ayanamsha, traditional Vedic astrology, where the calculations are very precise, as precise as the actual placements of the planets in the sky, in the universe. That is how it is. Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon signs. Jupiter is an important graha for you because he becomes your 9th lord and the 12th lord, the one who rules your fortune, bhagya, your dharma, long journey, higher education, spiritual education, also the 12th lord of higher self-consciousness, your losses, your expenditure. Now Jupiter re-entering Gemini, from your 4th house, it moves to the 3rd house. So this transition itself will trigger change of place, because now it is activating your 3 and 9 axis. When it is putting a greater focus on the 3 and 9 axis, we can expect journeys. Journeys doesn't necessarily mean that you will travel. You could start something new as well. You could change your residence within your city, within your state, or of course within your country as well. And this can also trigger foreign travel, because Jupiter is the 12th lord as well. So for journeys, for foreign travel, settlement, he plays a very important role in your case. And it will also form a sambandh or a connection with Mars, who's your Lagna lord and the 8th lord. So Mars also rules places that are far off across the sea, being in the 8th house. Surya will also have this connection with Jupiter. Jupiter goes Maran Karak in the 3rd house, but when it goes retrograde, it is as good as 2 negatives becoming positive. So this is a very positive Jupiter. It will behave as if it's sitting in the sign of Sagittarius, because I have explained this phenomena in the very beginning of a retrograde planet. It has a greater focus or aspect on the 9th house in your chart. So it promotes bhagya, it promotes fortune. So fortune should favor you between December through March. Any activities, any new beginnings that you do, any teachings that you've had, any learnings that you've had, you're going to apply. You're going to learn more about how to improve your relationship. You're going to apply this for your gains, for your wider social network. This is really your time to expand communication and of course elevate fortune for you. Now, if you have some work related challenges with your job, with your profession, you must look at sharing your knowledge with others, teaching others, coaching others. That could be an ideal remedy for you. Jupiter does call certain sense of direction. It needs certain sense of direction. Guru Upadesha is also seen from the third house when Guru is there, which means that if you have a mentor or a guide or an idol or even your father, these people can go out of the way to help you. In return, they might suffer, but you will have certain gains with regards to these matters. So this time period really is elevating your bhagya, fortune. So the end of the year and the start of the year is on a very promising note, is going to be at a very high. All right, and this is where, because any efforts that you put, when fortune is supportive, luck is supportive, you can have some results. You could go on a spiritual journey or a retreat or some sort of travel will be on the cards within December and January. This is something which is bound to happen regardless of the kind of dasha antardasha that you are running, and my best wishes for you. Taurus ascendant signs or the Taurus moon signs. Devaguru Brihaspati or Jupiter continuing its Vakri motion or retrograde motion in the sign of Gemini, which is happening in your second house. He is the significator or the Naisargic Karak of the second house, which means he represents your family, your finances, your accumulation, and of course all these things are very closely associated to Jupiter. Now for Taurus ascendants, firstly Jupiter holds an inimical relationship with your Lagna Lord Venus, and he is the ruler of the 8th house and the 11th house. Two not so good houses. People say 11th Lord gives a lot of wealth. For Taurus ascendants, Jupiter is not the planet who could probably give you enormous amount of wealth if it isn't not good yoga. If it isn't good yoga, then yes, it has the capacity. But if it is not so good yoga in its natal placement, it could bring in a lot of obstacles in life, all right? Because it also becomes the 8th lord of suddenness, and of course sudden events, sudden changes which help you transform. If you stay resistant, then it causes a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. But Jupiter is in a good dignity while re-entering Gemini. So you will have similar patterns of your life as you experience between March through June this year, wherein it's going to take you back in time and maybe correct some mistakes, take some corrective actions with regards to your finances, with regards to your family decisions, with regards to your speech. And this is a wonderful opportunity for you to fix your diet, what you consume, what you eat, if you were to protect your health. Because health matters could be average. In your 2-8 axis, there will be a number of planets in the coming weeks. Jupiter is forming a yoga with Mars, with Sun, with Venus, with your Lagna Lord. So you would want the best of spiritual knowledge, you would want to have the best of material comfort, and this will cause a conflict situation in your life. So you have to be very protective, very mindful of your financial decisions over the course of next few weeks. Jupiter could create expansive tendencies, but its 7th aspect is going to be very strong on the 8th house, which promotes transformation. So you have to be change ready, because certain events would occur in your life that are happening all of a sudden, which involves yourself, your family, a sudden movement, a sudden change, a sudden setback, or a sudden opportunity. So this will depend, of course, on the yogas and the current dasha that you're running in. But eventually it is going to protect you, it is going to protect your mindfulness, and you could expect you to be in a slightly uncomfortable position over the course of next few weeks, because your 8th house will be very active, which includes secrets, hidden desires, and connecting yourself with places that are far off or across the sea. So it is a perfect time for transformation. Job related matters, work related matters will improve, because Jupiter also has an aspect on the 6th house and the 10th house. This aspect is back again, which ensures that you would like to start a new job, start a new employment, and of course a greater focus on your lifestyle. Watch your weight, because you could have the tendency to expand. Jupiter will make you indulge in different food, and as long as you control your desires here, you have a better chance to fix your lifestyle, and my best wishes. Gemini ascendant signs or the Gemini moon signs. Devaguru Brihaspati or Jupiter continuing its retrograde motion back in Gemini, and this is happening in your ascendant or the 1st house. So firstly, Jupiter re-entering your ascendant, Saturn going direct. So if we take a fair assessment of some of these things, your life will have some similar trends that you experience between March through June this year, all right? And Devaguru Brihaspati is re-entering your ascendant. This is where he gains directional strength. He is Digbali. So there are blessings of Lord Shiva. you must look up to Lord Shiva and of course become a devotee of Shiva. This is something which will be very beneficial for you. He is reactivating your Dharma trine, so which means the 159 axis by the virtue of the aspect and the placement. Your greater focus on religion to do a lot for your Dharma. Fortune is going to be favorable because Jupiter's aspect, ninth aspect on Rahu, will help you take the right decisions at the right time, because sometimes the decisions don't matter but the timing matters. So somehow when fortune is being elevated, so you do have a sense of thing to probably take decisions at the right time. So do not shy away from taking decisions over the course of next few weeks. Use the power of your wisdom, your judgment, and your level of maturity as well. Jupiter is your 7th lord and the 10th lord. He is also the Bhadakesh, or the lord of obstacles, being the 7th lord here. Whether it will give you good results of the Kendra houses in terms of work progress, relationships, partnerships, business, success, or it will bring obstacle, that depends on the natal placement of Jupiter. Jupiter also have a Kendra Adhipati dosh. So when it is in Kendra houses, it relatively also affects the matter of that house. So it will affect your temperament. It will affect you physically. Though you could change good from a physical point of view, or this time period, you have to watch your weight, because next 6 months Jupiter is in your Lagna. So please watch your weight, because Jupiter creates expansive tendencies, particularly post March. Till March, it is still fine. You will be very mindful of your discipline, your things, what you do. But after that, there is a greater tendency. Now, when it is Vakri, retrograde, it is having a very strong aspect on your 7th house, which means it is going to bring in new partnerships, business opportunities, entrepreneurial opportunities, where you use the power of knowledge, wisdom, you coach others, you teach others. This time around, you can become a very good consultant. So partnerships are going to prosper. Your relationship is absolutely protected. You will use your sense of judgment, your sense of power in your relationship. Health needs a bit of attention, because you would experience different food, you would probably have a bit of an indisciplined lifestyle. So this is what you have to keep at check with your health. Business opportunities are likely to flourish. Work, there could be minor obstacles with regards to other people, but as long as you have an attitude which is very much open towards learning, you have a great chance to succeed and make the right decisions in your life, and my best wishes. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. Jupiter Devaguru Brihaspati's retrograde transit in Gemini. So 5th of December he enters. Until March he will be retrograde and then move in a direct motion in the sign of Gemini. Now here he is your 6th lord and the 9th lord. So being the 6th lord, he rules your job, he rules debts, diseases, health and well-being, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your competition, enemies or opposition. Being the 9th lord, he is responsible for your bhagya, long journey, higher education, spiritual knowledge, and of course where the Vedangas are seen from the 9th house. This is the house of your father, your lineage, your past. Saturn's moving in a direct motion in 9th house in the sign that is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter now will re-enter your 12th house, moving out of your ascendant, re-entering your 12th house. So momentarily it will create some instability in life, okay, because this shift from the Lagna to the 12th house affects your decision making, your power of judgment, and I would urge you not to have a very judgmental mindset, be non-judgmental, and of course spend a lot of time in your self-awareness, in spiritual practices, in travel, in going to places, isolated places, or places where you can learn from others, where you can get some knowledge. Now when Jupiter is retrograde, this time around it is not having so much of an impact on the 11th house. It is not that it is looking backward, because it will be in the late degrees of Gemini. So it has a very strong aspect on the house which is opposite, the 7th from it. Because being Vakri, it has Cheshtabal, which is the aspect or strength of desire. It will have higher than usual desire. So Jupiter wants to bring in a lot of wisdom in your daily life, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. You have to take care of your digestive system, you have to take care of what you eat, and this is an opportunity for you to improve your sleep. If you've had any sleep related issues, any well-being related issues, any issues pertaining to indiscipline, and if you've probably put on weight, this is your opportunity the next 6 months for you to transform your body by adopting good habits. You should cut off with people who probably give you some bad habits or bad company, and you should look at bringing a 180-degree change in your lifestyle. Jupiter has an aspect on your 4th house and the 8th house as well, which promotes spirituality, which promotes comfort, and you will apply your knowledge in transforming yourself, in changing and transforming your body. This time period, you can also repay certain debts, but your expenses is going to increase. As much as you expense on dharma, from a remedial point of view, donate to hospitals, donate to children, because the 12th sign is Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. So make some donations towards education of children, donate to spiritual places, holy shrines. This is where you will probably gain some respite of this transit, and my best wishes. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. Jupiter, Devaguru, Brihaspati re-entering Gemini in its retrograde motion. So it will continue its retrograde motion for the next few months, starting 5th of December. Alright, till the first quarter of next year. And this is where it is now focusing a lot on your 5th house. Why on the 5th house? Because when Jupiter moves back to your 11th house, which is now a good transit of Jupiter, because he is expected to do very well. He is not in the most comfortable sign, but at the same time, when it goes retrograde in an inimical sign to him, and of course, some say it's neutral, some say it's inimical. For me, it's inimical because that's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the best student as well, but it gives very good results when it goes retrograde. It starts acting in a beneficial manner because it will behave as if it's making a transit in Sagittarius. So it will be in a comfortable position till about March. So this is where a strong 7th aspect on your 5th house, which means it is going to fix your future. It is going to promote happiness from children, creative pursuits where you will learn about creativity, you will learn about speculative businesses. You might want to involve or indulge in romantic relationships because Jupiter is your 5th lord. So he rules your future, positional success, romance, love. Unconditional love is seen from the 5th house. Creativity. And of course, this is the Rajya Bhava, the house of king-like success. And Jupiter becomes one of the most important planets for you because he is your 5th lord. Being the 8th lord, he also rules longevity, transformation, suddenness in life. And there could be a sudden shift of finances, but I do see it to work in a better manner because there are multiple Dhan Yogas that will be active. Jupiter will come in contact with Sun, with Mars. Your trines are pretty much sorted, between December through mid-January. So this is where you could expect some prominent financial gains because it will create expansive tendencies. You might want to you might want to correct some decisions related to your work in the past and rebuild your connection with children. Those people who are looking forward to starting a family, this could be a very favorable time period for you wherein you must try. And of course, this is where you could expect some prominent results. Now, at the same time, what is happening here is Jupiter also has an aspect on the 3rd house and the 7th house. So it promotes positive relationships, positive communication and cordial relationship with your spouse. In case you are looking forward to getting married, the next few months could be very favorable depending on whether there is a yoga that is getting activated at this time. Jupiter's transit is very favorable. In my research, I have seen 100% of the time, marriage only happens when Jupiter's transit is favorable. A childbirth only happens when Jupiter's transit is favorable. That has to be supportive and along with the dasha. And this is something which is most supportive over the course of next 6 months, and my best wishes. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. Devaguru Jupiter's transit back in the sign of Gemini in a retrograde motion or Vakri. It's a very simplified analysis that I'm giving you with regards to what are the kind of energy shifts that you could expect. Now, he is your 7th lord and the 4th lord. So being the 7th lord, it has 2 rules. One, of course, it rules Kendra. This is the Jaya Bhav, the house of following, those people who follow you or the people who you follow. Jupiter also becomes the Badakesh or lord of obstacles. Now, whether it will deliver results of obstacles to you or not, that depends on the natal placement of Jupiter. He's also the 4th lord of your happy space, your comfort space, your home, mother, your homeland, your assets, things that you own, alright, your possessions. And he is now re-entering your 10th house. So when he re-enters 10th house, it is time for you to fix some work-related decisions, some things associated to your past, improve your relationship with the father. Okay, this is also perhaps very important for you at this time. and try to strike a balance between your work life and your home life, because you're going to be very busy, especially from January onwards, like mid-January onwards. You will see a huge pace in your life, a very fast-paced life, very busy with the relationships, with work, and of course not able to find time for yourself. So prioritize yourself. Self-care is needed at this time. Leverage the power of your knowledge, wisdom to create work expansion. Jupiter is also the significator of the 10th house, one of the significator, because he represents knowledge and wisdom at work. Now, being retrograde, he will have a strong aspect on your 4th house. So the demand is that your partner could play a very important role in your support, in your mental well-being, in your mindfulness. And this is one area which you have to prioritize. Your sense of Artha Trikona, which is the 2-6-10 trine, the trine of progress, the trine of work, will be very high. As much as you would want to be very busy with work, do not neglect yourself and your loved ones during this time. This is a conscious decision, or a conscious step at least, that you should be taking. It has a very beneficial aspect on the 2nd house and on the 6th house, which promotes finances, accumulation, and also new job opportunities. This time you should reconnect with old folks, old colleagues, acquaintances, bosses that you've worked with in the past. Reach out to them in case probably you're looking for a career change, you're looking for a job change, you're looking for new opportunities, and also old business partners. Jupiter will have a 9th aspect on Rahu in the 6th house, which helps you overcome your weaknesses of the mind, all right, and have a consistency, or probably a very clean diet, clean routine each and every day. And you could also reconnect with your past relationships, okay, someone who you were in close contact with. This could also be the time when this occurs, and my best wishes. Libra ascendant signs, or the Libra moon signs. Devaguru Brihaspati, Jupiter's transit back in the sign of Gemini, retrograde transit back in the Gemini, which is happening in your 9th house. He is also one of the significator, or the Karaka of the 9th house, because he represents fortune. And 9th house also is about your father, your dharma, your lineage, journeys, especially long distance journeys are seen from this house. And this is a re-entry in the 9th house. It's a very strong position that Jupiter has. He is your 3rd lord and the 6th lord. Not the most ideal planet. He represents valor, your courage, your efforts, change, and the 6th house that includes debts, diseases, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, job. But something common that the 3rd house and 6th house has, because we call them the Upachaya Bhavas. Being the Upachaya Bhavas, these Bhava or houses bring growth, and they also bring free will. So there are two things which are working very much in favor of you. Firstly, your Bhagya is on the rise. That is getting elevated. Secondly, you should also have independent thinking, which is free will. So there is a greater sense of free will for you to take some important decisions, and at the same time your Bhagya as well. This will be very much prevalent after mid of January. Till mid of January, I do have a sense that there could be certain blockages. You could face opposition, you could attract certain enemies, coldness could be there, and of course it is a greater need for you to protect your religion, protect your dharma. Jupiter here will have a very strong aspect on the 3rd house. So this promotes journeys. Journey doesn't necessarily mean that you will travel, you can start something new. However, I would highly encourage you over the course of next few months, go on a spiritual retreat. Go and have some travel, either travel solo or travel with other people, even if you travel with your family. Go to a spiritual place. If you can't go to a spiritual place, then at least go to a place where you can connect with the nature and have some sort of learning about other people, other cultures. And Jupiter will help you expand your communication, will help you learn new things, upskill yourself. So it's a very good time for learning, upskilling, and also higher education, especially the first quarter of next year. If you have certain aspirations of further education, things can be very much favorable for you, because any efforts that you will put, they are likely to have good results, because your 3rd house is very positive. A positive change, great efforts, but at the same time high sense of desire as well. So you'll have a lot of desire. So this might lead you to maybe taking a not so good step in life, or probably not being able to channel or control your desires. And this is where you have to have some spiritual practices, because Jupiter is promoting your dharma trine, so your sense of righteousness and ethical practices is something which is needed at the moment, and my best wishes for you. Scorpio ascendant signs or the Scorpio moon signs. Jupiter, Devaguru, Brihaspati transit back in the sign of Gemini, which is happening on 5th of December, and it will stay in Gemini till June. But momentarily, it will go retrograde. So when it goes retrograde, and of course it continues this motion, it has a very strong 7th aspect. Now this is happening in your 8th house. Jupiter's transit in the 8th house brings suddenness, change. He's your 5th lord and he's also your 2nd lord. So this change is either related to your future. So future related things could be a bit uncertain. You're not very sure, not very confident about decisions. You're not probably, you have some sort of fear. You have to overcome your adversities. You have to overcome your vulnerabilities. That is for sure. Being the 2nd lord, there will be greater concern towards family, towards your kids, towards family, whether everything is all right or not. This will be your priority. And you would want some sort of fulfillment in your relationship. For those people who've been looking forward to having some sort of sense of fulfillment in their relationship, this time period could be some benefit, can bring some benefit results for you. Okay. Now here, it's your 2nd lord who rules your dhan bhav, accumulation, your family, your speech, your food, what you consume. Also the 5th lord of your future, Rajya Bhava. We see positional success, king-like success from this house. Your children, mantras. So you should get involved in mantra sadhana. Mantra-based practices or remedies will work very well for you if you have a well-disposed Jupiter, and this will help you channel the energies of Jupiter as well as Saturn. Now here it will have a 9th drishti on Rahu in the 4th house. So Rahu has pushed you out of your comfort zone, has brought in a change, maybe has made you work a little far away from home. This is a greater possibility. Jupiter's aspect will regulate, will probably bring out some good qualities of Rahu, alright, because this is where knowledge will come into play. And most importantly, it has a 7th aspect on your 2nd house, which promotes financial prosperity, which promotes accumulation, which promotes good eating habits, healthy eating habits, and this is something which you should develop. If you don't, this could be detrimental to your health because you will probably put on weight. Jupiter creates expansive tendencies. See, if it's a time period for you to transform with regards to your body matters, what kind of transformation would you want, right? You would want good, healthy transformation, right? So this transformation can go the other way as well if you be indisciplined with regards to your lifestyle. So firstly, you have to bring in a lot of discipline. Because of your routine, because of your schedule, because of long commute or long hours, this could be most likely the case. External factors don't allow you to have a good lifestyle, and this is something you need to maybe do some sort of conditioning and translate these energies into focusing on internal factors, those things which are in your control, and probably not blame a number of things which are beyond your control. This is the kind of shift which you need, and my best wishes. Sagittarius ascendant signs or the Sagittarius moon signs. Jupiter or Devaguru Brihaspati's transit back in the sign of Gemini, where it continues its retrograde motion. This is happening in your 7th house. Now Jupiter is the lord of your Lagna, lord of the ascendant, and he is also your 4th lord. So he is the one who rules yourself and your comfort space, who you are, your health, your vitality, your immunity, and also the comfort space, which means your home, homeland, your mother, your happy space, your safe space. He plays a very important role in your health and well-being, in your decisions, and of course decisions related to yourself, your family, your assets. Now Devaguru Brihaspati is re-entering your 7th house. So there are two things here. One, that it is retrograde, so it will encourage you to fix your relationship and strike a balance between your expectations and of course the expectations of your spouse, or you have some expectations from your partner, from your spouse, and of course if you're not married, if you're single, you're a bachelor, the kind of expectations that you're looking for to have in a new relationship, there could be a greater sense of mismatch here. So maybe you have to make some adjustments here. So Jupiter gains 0 direction in the 7th house. In the 1st house, he is Digbali. In the 7th house, he has 0 direction. So you will need to put more efforts for your decision making. Your decisions will be right. You will have a lot of confidence in the coming weeks. But you would need some sort of guidance, some acknowledgement, some support that, okay, you still have a doubt. You clear till the end. You're about to start something, you still have a doubt in your mind. You're still not, you're there, but you're still not there. All right. But Jupiter will have a very strong aspect on your ascendant. So the next 6 months is bringing greater good change in your personality, in your temperament, in your level of knowledge, and also for health related matters. Your health is going to improve, but this Jupiter can also create expansive tendencies of your body. See, 7th house matters will need attention, so you need to regulate your relationship, you need to make some adjustments there, and of course, try to mend certain ties. Otherwise, this could create certain blockage, this could create a distance from your partner. But its aspect on your ascendant is promotes positive decision making, promotes wisdom, good health, vitality, and you have to be very mindful of your weight, because Jupiter can create expansive tendencies, whichever house it aspects. Now, it also has an aspect on your 11th and the 3rd house, so which will bring high sense of desires. Rahu will be regulated. It will have an aspect on Rahu, which means any efforts that you put, you will have expansive tendencies there. Okay, but for your personal well-being, you need a lot of self-care over the course of next few months, because this is where the shift of energy should be there. But at the same time, be very respectful of the expectations that you have from other people. Limit them. Don't have like sky high expectations. Try to make some adjustments, because Jupiter in the 7th house does make someone a lot selfish. You're more self-centered, and you need to strike a sense of balance over the course of next few months, and my best wishes. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. Jupiter, Devaguru, Brihaspati re-entering the sign of Gemini in a Vakri position or retrograde. Now he is re-entering your 6th house on 5th of December, and for the next few months till 1st of June it will be here. Now momentarily for the next 3 months, 3.5 months it goes retrograde and continues this motion in the sign of Gemini. And here it will have a very strong aspect on your 12th house, because when it goes retrograde, it has high sense of desire. Jupiter becomes your 3rd lord and the 12th lord. So it holds a neutral position in your case, because it shares a friendly relationship with your Lagna lord Saturn. Being the 3rd lord, he is responsible for your efforts, your valor, your courage, younger siblings, your co-borns. And being in the 6th house, the message is very clear that if you have siblings, you have to establish or probably resolve certain conflict related to your sibling, or you're likely to re-enter a conflict situation or a situation wherein you have to collectively pay certain debts. So be very careful of your sibling relationship for the next few months. Things are slightly sensitive for you. Jupiter here will have a very strong aspect on the 12th house, on its own sign of Sagittarius. Now, this Jupiter, when it's retrograde, will behave as if it's in the sign of Sagittarius, because it has a very strong 7th aspect. This promotes spirituality. This promotes expense, but expense on right things, right deeds. Over the course of next couple of months, your expenses likely to increase. So please do not be impulsive of your decisions, of your purchase, of buying something, because Jupiter will make a connection with most of the planets, with Venus, Sun, Mars, and also Mercury. Alright, so you need to control your impulse when it comes to purchasing. Have a budget exercise, try to reduce your expenditure and increase your spiritual sadhana. Om Vishnave Nama, that is a Shadakshari mantra or a 6-syllable mantra which you can chant at this time, or a simple Guru mantra, that is Om Guruve Nama. That will also give you good results with regards to your health and well-being. Certain health matters related to your past can resurface, but I don't expect any detrimental effects. I do expect a greater sense of protection here, but you still need to be very cautious of past medical history or some medical history in your family, in your lineage. That is something which could resurface. This time period can bring newer job opportunities and increased sense of finances. Jupiter will have a 9th aspect on Rahu, which is making a transit in your 2nd house. So it will ensure that till about June, whatever you say, you're very conscious and mindful of your speech, and of course not end up in quarrels or argument with other people, and you developing a very respectful relationship with your family, and of course taking care of them as well. Newer job opportunities, newer work opportunities can be there, but the work should not be detrimental for your health. So be very mindful of your choice related to the job. Alright, and my best wishes to you. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. Jupiter, Devaguru, Brihaspati's transit back in the sign of Gemini, that is happening in your 5th house. So for you, Jupiter plays a very important role in all financial matters because he becomes the second and the 11th lord. These two houses play a role in financial prosperity. 11th house is about income, second is about accumulation of all kinds. Therefore, we see dhan. So dhan in Vedic terms means accumulation. It doesn't necessarily mean money or cash, all right, but any kind of accumulation in your bank accounts or of course possessions, whatever you own, your family, right? Because of course those are the people who are more close to you, the people who you'd like to protect, your storage space. 11th lord is the lord of wider social network, your income, friends, and also enemies. Bigger enemies are seen from the 11th house because this is 6 from the 6th house. Your house of fulfillment and also the house of Maya. Jupiter is a significator of the 5th house. So its movement back in the sign of Gemini is much positive for you. It is creating a very strong Dhan Yoga. And this Jupiter will be in contact with Venus, with Mars, with Sun, and also with Mercury. So there are multiple yogas that are getting formed around this time. And it is giving you a greater sense of protection. See, Rahu in Shatabisha Nakshatra in your Lagna is creating expansive tendencies. Jupiter's aspect on Rahu will ensure that you take the right kind of decisions. You take the decisions away from the aspect of Maya, but you use some judgment, you use some wisdom or knowledge there. You definitely have some karma towards children, towards your romantic relationship, towards those people who you give unconditional love. So it will make you more giving in nature, more helpful to others. And this is a very good time because things are favorable if you were to start a family, if you were to extend the family, or of course have children. Things are going to be very positive for the next 6 months, 6 to 7 months. Jupiter will have a very strong aspect on the 11th house, which promotes financial well-being, which promotes financial prosperity, and of course, which also promotes meaningful connections, meaningful associations, will help you influence other people, influence without authority, influence with the power of your knowledge. Other people may look up to you as a very knowledgeable person. All right, but you have to protect your creativity, you have to protect your sense of well-being, you have to protect your stomach. There could be some stomach-related issues over the course of next couple of months. So watch your diet, watch your gut health. Jupiter will have strong aspect on your ascendant and also on the 9th house. 9th house, there's a 5th aspect, on the 9th aspect on the ascendant, activating your dharma trine, the trine of righteousness. The ethical quotient needs to be very high. And of course, I see a greater sense of progression as well. Saturn, your Lagna Lord, is sharing a quadrant relationship with Jupiter. So the pillars from that point is pretty strong. Your Artha trine and of course the Dharma trine, both are pretty much supportive here for you to eventually take some good decisions and put yourself to some good work or have some positional success. Use mantras to protect yourself as a remedy, and my best wishes. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. Jupiter's transit re-entry in Gemini, which is your 4th house. So Dev Guru Brihaspati, Jupiter going retrograde back in the sign of Gemini, which is happening on 5th of December, and till June it is there, but initially it is the retrograde movement, all right, for the next few months. This is where it would make you put a lot of focus on your mindfulness, on things that are more comfortable for you, home related matters. So you're likely to make some changes in your house, some sort of renovation, or take some big decisions related to your real estate assets or build new assets. In the next 6 months look very positive. Jupiter is your lord of the ascendant who rules yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are, your decision making. This is where your conscious brain sits. Also the 10th lord of work, your profession, your karya bhava, your actions in the society, and of course what you do to survive and sustain yourself in the world. Now the trine lord being placed in the Kendra house, and Jupiter has a very strong aspect on the 10th house while it is retrograde. So the 7th aspect becomes very strong, which will bring new work opportunities, which will bring those kind of opportunities which are of your personal interest, wherein you try to find the meaning and purpose. So this time you should definitely apply for new jobs, you should look for new roles, because you're likely to get some new projects, new assignment that put you in a slightly uncomfortable position, something that you're doing for the very first time. And of course, eventually you have to also balance your work with your personal life, because Jupiter demands a greater focus, a greater attention at home than at work. Very good time to declutter your house, because planet retrograde, that to Jupiter, your Lagna Lord in the 4th house, clean up your house. He rules your 10th house, clean up your workspace as well. All right. Buy some new books, Buy those things that give you knowledge. Either invest in journals, in courses, in books, in educational pursuits. Fourth house is your primary education. So you have to rebuild your fundamentals, rebuild your value system, and of course for yourself and your family. Jupiter has a good aspect on the 8th and the 12th house, which promotes mindfulness and a healthy living. Health matters will gradually improve, all right, because it promotes spiritual practices. So if you bring in some spiritual discipline, morning yoga, sadhana, some sort of routine in the morning, and remove the lethargy from your life, you know, the laziness, try to be a bit more active. Jupiter's pace is also regulated, which helps you take very good decisions. See, next couple of months you can take some very important major decisions, and the year is very promising for you. This is something which I have mentioned in my annual transit video as well. Based on, of course, the transit analysis, this year looks pretty good for the Pisces ascendants. So you have the capacity to step into a new work scenario, new job, or shift away from your home over the course of next few months. Continue to strengthen Jupiter, and my best wishes. So friends, this was yet another unique video on Jupiter's re-entry in Gemini in the retrograde motion and how it will have an impact on all of us. I hope and believe Jupiter's re-entry in Gemini helps us to bring the power of wisdom and knowledge in our communication, in our desires, and in our connections with other people. May it help us make more meaningful connections. Stay tuned for more such videos on my channel. Thank you very much. God bless you all.